Hello there. Greetings, everybody. This is your boy Dabby Daniel, and welcome to part 2 of the Black Evolution. Today I'm going to talk about several things, but we have a most important topic, and that is re-educating black people, increasing self-esteem, and knowing who to vote for. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So when it comes to black people, we have a problem with self-esteem. Rather, we have low self-esteem. This stems from several factors, of course. One of them being slavery, having people oppress us for 430 plus years. The other comes from within ourselves. This is a problem that needs to be addressed. Before we go out and fight white supremacy, not saying that is an issue, it is an issue, but we need to deal with ourselves and our self-confidence. We need to take control of a situation and have the self-confidence to do so. Matter of fact, let me give you a quote from a great black leader in the 1920s by the name of Marcus Garvey. He had this to say about self-confidence. If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you have won even before you have started. Now, that was from Marcus Garvey, and this was 100 plus years ago. So his words reign true today as they do back then. And I feel as a people, we need to have self-confidence in order to succeed in life. And self-esteem comes from within you, not from without. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you have to have confidence in yourself. It comes from within you, not from outside sources. I feel as a people, we constantly try to look for outside sources for validation or for self-worth. We try to look for things such as Instagram, if I have enough Jordans, if I have enough Jews, if I have enough jewelry, then I'll be successful. If I have enough money, women, etc., etc. But all those things are outside sources, and they can never bring you happiness. Your self-confidence and your self-esteem comes from within you as a person, within you as an individual, within you. And this can shape your reality. So if you have no self-confidence, you are going to be defeated in life. Now, going forward with the next topic of registering to vote and knowing who to vote for, I'm going to show you guys a clip of Malcolm X talking about voting and knowing who to vote for with the ballot and the bullet speech, or at least a portion of it. So here is a clip of Malcolm X saying who to vote for with the ballot or the bullet.
Now, if you and I leave it up to the moderate Negro leaders, they'll be able to trick it up and make the world think that they passed something that doesn't really mean anything. So what you and I have got to do is get involved. You and I have to be right there breathing down their throat. Every time they look over their shoulder, we want them to see us. We want to make them pass the strongest civil rights bill they've ever passed. Because we know even after they pass it, they can't enforce it. In order to do this, we're starting a voters registration drive. We have to get everybody in Harlem registered. Not as Democrats or Republicans, but registered as independents. We're going to organize a corps of brothers and sisters who, after the city is mapped out, they won't leave one apartment house door not knocked on. There won't be a door in Harlem that will not have been knocked on to see that whatever black face lives behind that door is registered to vote by a certain time this year. Nobody will have an excuse not to be registered. We'll ask him, let us see your card. If you don't have the sense of responsibility to get registered, we'll move you out of town. It's going to be the ballot or the bullet. After we get our people registered, we can then organize that voting strength and channel it in the direction that will get immediate results for the benefit of our people. We can sweep our enemies right out of office, but we will not be able to do it sitting around talking about select and elect your own candidates.
Okay, now that you have a video of Malcolm X teaching you how to vote and get involved with voter registration and knowing the importance of who your candidates are and who is going to vote, who is going to be put in power, and how we need to vote and get out there to vote and registration, I'm going to show you the generations that are being defined in our culture today. These are the Millennial and Generation Z, or this is the generation that I'm a part of. Now, for the longest time, politicians have been basically confusing the two, the Millennial generation and the Generation Z. So let me show you clearly the two generations that are defined. So if you look in this picture here, or the statistic, this is the generations of millennials and Generation Z's defined. This is from the Pew Research Center. So Generation Z is born between 1997 and 2012. The millennial generation that all the politicians keep calling us was born between 1981 and 1996. I myself was born in 1998, so that will put me in the Generation Z category. So going forward, I want no confusion with politicians and with all of our Black leaders on which generation are the millennials and which generation is Generation Z. So, is that being said, I'm going to show you the millennial turnout in 2016 and how we're voting and how bad it is, meaning our voter turnout, or the millennial voter turnout. So, right here in this statistic, the black voting turnout in 2016, how we are falling behind as a people, with whites beating us in 2016, 65.3%, and blacks, us, falling short of 59.6%. Now, this is an important factor because this shows you that Black voting turnout has been on a declining state. And with that being said, I'm going to show you another statistic when it comes to voting. So this is the statistic of the millennial turnout being doubled from 2014 to 2018. So the millennial turnout was at 20% to 42% within 2014 and 2018. This is a generation that's slightly before me. Now let's look at the Generation Z voting turnout. It is at 30%. Now, with all of us Generation Z being registered to vote from 18 to 22 years old, there should be no excuse why our voting turnout, is lower than the millennial generation or the generation that is older than us. This is a problem, especially among the Black vote. We need to get out there, be registered to vote, and know who to vote for. As a people, we have to deal with these issues within our community. And this is part of the Black evolution. We need to evolve as a people. We need to grow as a people. So with that being said, I'm going to end this section of the podcast on how we need to register to vote, know who to vote for, and most importantly, get our voting registration up. So later on, I'm going to show you statistics, or not statistics, rather, I'm going to show you my council members and how it is very important to know who our council members are. So this concludes the portion of the video where I talk about voter registration and the Millennial and Generation Z portion. Okay, now that we've gotten the voter registration importance out the way and the Millennial and other generations out the way and what they clearly are, I want to show you who my council members are. The reason why I want to show you who my council members are is because two reasons. One is the importance of knowing who is in a position of power. The reason why you need to know this is because they can either help you or hurt you. Let me say it again. They can either help you or hurt you. So, with that being said, let me show you who my mayor is when it comes to voting and the importance of knowing who my council members are. So, let me take you let's take a look at our Charlotte mayor. So, where I live is in Charlotte, and our mayor is Via Alexander Lyles. This is the Charlotte mayor. Now, she's a Democrat. She's on her second term as the mayor of Charlotte. She's the nation's largest city, and Charlotte has a fast-growing population. And in addition to, she has had the city of Charlotte committed $50 million in efforts to help the community of Charlotte and address affordable housing. She's also had the city take into consideration into investment of mixed income housing, provide a housing option for more than 5,000 families. Now, this is the mayor of Charlotte, and I'm showing you the importance of knowing who the people in Charlotte are in terms of local elections and in terms of national. Now, I know as black people, we got the national elections down packed. We know who to vote for when it comes to the national elections. But what about the local elections? Do you know who's in a position of power? So, with now that you know who the mayor is of Charlotte, let me show you who my council members are. This is a famous council member by the name of Braxton Wilson. He's an at-large representative. He was a Democrat, and he's elected in 2017 in Charlotte, and he's on a second term as city council. This is what Wilson has done. He is a stagehand and group member of Charlotte's thriving sports, television, entertainment, and production committee. He's a proud member of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees Union. He's also an influential journalist, produces stories not covered by traditional media outlets, namely CNN and MSNBC, but he participates in city engagement. So this man is legitimately a representative of the people. He has done many things, producing stories that are not covered by CNN outlets, by CNN or MSNBC, and he has also been a member of a protest. He's been a member of protest. Most recently, he was in the news of getting arrested. The reason why this is important is because you need to know who your council members are, black people, not just with a national level, but in the local level. Because in the local level, these areas affect you. And if you don't know who to vote for in the local level, bad things can happen to you. And on top of that, you can be affected in terms of the community. What I mean by that is you will be affected in terms of your jobs, your livelihood, and everything. And with that being said, this is an important lesson to everybody in terms of voting and knowing who to vote for and things of that nature. Now, with that being said, I want to emphasize this message to you. You need to have self-confidence in yourself. Without that, you will be a people that has low self-esteem. And with that being said, self-esteem comes from within you as an individual, not from outside sources. When it comes to voting, you need to know who to vote for. Don't be an ignorant voter. Don't just be going out there just to vote, just to vote. You need to know who to vote for as a people, and you also need to know who your council members are. I know who my mayor is, and I know who one of my council members are. And so, with that being said, this concludes the Black Evolution Part 2 of the series, where I talk about self-esteem and voter importance. Now, listen to this outro music of a song called Black Habits, where it's done by D-Smoke. Here's a snippet of it.
Super. Good. Inglewood. Purple rain falling down on the prince of the coast where the sun shine all year round. Purple haze over landscape, still I hydrate in the lunch line. with the smog and clouds. What? Start me out. This song's in the key of life, and love is in need of more. Young from Inglewood, barefoot on the break, you ain't balance scales, you ain't average. Now throw your hands on three, gon' put them up for black magic. Black excellence, black habits, this black medicine, everything black chucks, everything black hug, black love, everything. Praise black Jesus, play black Moses, give them flowers while they still here, black roses, everything black tribe, black ride, everything.